All right, let's talk about that co-main event. Ian Garry defeats Belal Muhammad via unanimous decision, 30-27 on two of the judges' scorecards, 29-28. Let me see if I can see scorecards. Let's see which round they gave to Belal. They gave Belal round 2. Mark Collette gave him round 2. Okay, fair enough. I didn't hate that fight. I liked it. I thought it was a fine fight. I'm not quite as jazzed about it as I am the main event, but fine. I'm not going to get up on here and say that Garry looked like shit because he didn't. I'm not going to say he fought poorly because he didn't. I'm not going to say that that fight wasn't reasonably entertaining because it was. And it was also, the scores don't necessarily reflect it, but certainly competitive enough to be interesting. I had some concerns that the fight was going to be a little bit on the boring side. I don't think that really played out. I was not bored watching that fight. I mean, the eye pokes were not great. The first one was especially not great. Second one was a little bit harder to tell exactly if Garry really had culpability. But as a fight overall, fine. Totally fine. Garry is a very good fighter, and I'm going to give him his props because I think it's important to do that. There's going to be a major caveat coming, but I have to give him his props. The things you knew he could do, he did. The lateral movement was pretty good. I think he made some pretty bad mistakes as it related to when to roll underneath and then when to pull, because he was pulling a lot, and that's going to get you into trouble doing shit like that. And a couple times it did get him in trouble. Nevertheless, he was able to get the jab going. He had a great stance. He had a great game plan. They were jabbing at the chest the whole time, anticipating that level change. He was ready. Footwork was on point. Takedown defense was fantastic. His takedown, we knew that. His takedown defense is excellent. He is very, very good. It is hard to take that guy down. He is very, very good. Surprisingly acrobatic, good about driving underhooks, good about splitting his base. Like, that shit is fantastic. So I give him all the credit in the world, and he didn't beat some chump tonight. He beat a good fighter, a great fighter in Belal Muhammad. But if there is just one kind of constant I come back to on this one, it's that it's not that he's not getting better, because he is. It's not that he's not beating better and better guys, because he is. It's that he's still putting the pieces of his game together in very incremental ways. And I hate it. There's no real pop in his game. He's talking all this bullshit before fights like, oh, we're going to end in the first round KO. Dude, stop. You can be a real threat to these other guys in this division without just selling us nonsense. And it's like, yeah, every fighter says a bunch of bullshit, but it's just like, it's like especially not credible with him because his game isn't suited for that. There were times in this fight where he was kind of sitting down a little bit and exchanging more, usually under pressure from Belal, but nevertheless, it's not like he is, I'm not saying he's risk averse, but his game is predicated on winning rounds. His game never appears to be predicated on scoring the kind of meaningful offense that produces fight-ending scenarios. There is a big difference between them. And honestly, Tsarukyan's game up until recently was a lot like that. Yeah, sometimes he could have ground and pound, and he would open him up with that. But a lot of that was just brute force, SWAT team battering down the door. That's very different than methodically working yourself to positions, creating offensive dilemmas, right? And then really opening a guy up in a thoughtful way. That's what Tsarukyan did, opening his opponent up in a very concerted, methodical kind of way. Garry's game doesn't really do that. And again, that's not saying he can't win. That's not saying he can't be good guys. It just makes it a little hard for me to get super excited about, because it's not that you can't look at that and then be like, oh, I don't respect how good he is. No, I respect how good he is. And honestly, Islam has a tough fight against him, especially a guy who's rangy like that. It's a tough dude to be a rangy, fleet-footed guy who's got dynamite takedown defense. That's a tough fight. You can see people struggle with this. I take that seriously. I accept it. I accept the reality of what that means. But at the same time, he's always leaving the door open to his opponents doing something because he's never in a position where he's guiding the fight towards a fight-ending scenario. Even when he gets the back on Shavkat Rakhmonov, his finishing mechanics are poor, and he just can't, get him out of there. And he had MVP's back, same kind of thing. His finishing mechanics from those situations are poor. So even when he's got like these really highly advantageous scenarios, he can't take advantage of him. And it's like those kinds of limitations that he has are not the kinds of limitations that are really going to cost you on the contendership queue. They might sometimes, but where they really cost you is against those title fight opportunities. And again, not necessarily always either, but such that you can really, like, where does the rubber meet the road? Where does the buck stop, so to speak, with a style like Gary's? It usually stops when you have to go up against a guy who doesn't play any of those fucking games at the championship level. Islam's ability to find the back, maintain the back, strike on the feet, level change, get to a single, use that to return to the back. And then the variety of takedowns he's got, from body locks to inside trips, outside trips, harai gochis, uchimatas, sasais, high crotches, head inside single. I mean, it just goes on and on and on what he has, and then where are you supposed to go because you didn't develop the other parts of your game? You didn't really learn to really sit down on your power. You didn't really learn to put, dynamite ground and pound together. It's a little frustrating for me because on the one hand, I can point out all the things that are very, very good and how you have to take that seriously. And then on the other hand, I just can't have ultimate faith in it because of the part that it lacks. This is my personal opinion. You don't have to agree. I'm not asking anyone to agree. I'm just telling you, like, do I respect Ian Garry and what he did here at this event? For sure. Do I think he's got a tough fight to present to Islam? Absolutely. Do I really think you can beat every welterweight in the world with the skill set that he's got? I don't think that. I don't think you can have a game predicated on winning rounds and not producing fight-ending scenarios and win a UFC title, or certainly not hold on to it. I don't think he can beat Islam doing this shit either. So does he deserve it? I mean, he's beaten all the right guys. Again, I thought he does too many things right to ignore. He does way too many things right to ignore. From the strategies I mentioned, to the jabbing, to the stance, to let's look at some of these numbers here. I mean, it's absurd. Yeah, Belal Muhammad attempted 7 takedowns. He got none of them. Blanked him. Belal's, and this now includes this fight, but his takedown accuracy, takedowns per 15 minutes was 2.24. He didn't get 0.24, much less 2.24. He got zip. And that means his average was higher than that before the fight, and it went even lower as a consequence of this one. So he's probably closer to around 2.5 or even higher. Nearly won a round, and he couldn't get shit against him. Dude, the guy's good. He's good. But I am just telling you, this is an offense-first sport. Having lights-out defense or a defensive style, it can do wonders for you, but it can't maximize danger. And that, to me, is just always going to be, unless he can really level up and change, which he still has time to do, it's going to be a hindrance for him. If he had real punching power in addition to all these other skills that he had, that would be lights. That would be such a potent combination that you would have to really respect his championship's chances at that point. It's just, for me personally, I've been around the game so long. If someone has nothing but offense and no defense, that's a problem too. But as a general rule, it's if someone had to ask you, how do you want to split your game? 50-50 offense, defense in MMA? The answer is no. You want to go 60-40 offense, defense. In certain cases, even 70-30, but certainly 60-40. You have to have that apportion. And I feel like it's 60-40 the other way for him. It just makes me question what the ultimate upside could be. It just makes me question that. Let me look at Gary's other performances here very quickly. against Praches. Yeah, dude, he had double the amount of strikes. Granted, it was 5 rounds, and he was fighting another striker. This one was 5 rounds against Shavkat. He only had 42. He had 72 in this one. That's pretty good. 72 is, I mean, one of the higher ones for any kind of ranked opponent he's ever faced. But, he hasn't had a finish since May of 2023. Neil Magny, decision. Jeff Neal, split decision. Michael Page, decision. Shavkat Rakhmonov, he lost that one, but still, it went to decision. Carlos Praches, decision. Belal Muhammad, decision. You see what I mean? He can't move the fight to a place where he can create a fight ending scenario, or he could even be handed one, and he can't close the show. This will cost him in the end. This will cost him. There's a cost to be paid for this. Not so much in the wins and losses, although I guess the Rakhmonov fight notwithstanding. By the way, that Rakhmonov fight kind of aging a little bit better now. Look who Garry is beating. Not so easy to take. And then Rakhmonov got him down twice. Rakhmonov got him down twice. Belal couldn't get him down at all. Granted, that was, about a year ago. Still, pretty good. That loss. Sorry, I should say, I keep saying it's lost. That win by Rakhmonov is aging kind of nicely. Although there's a lot kind of wrong with that performance too. But in any case, if they give it to Ian Garry, I understand why. I don't know that they will. They could give him Morales. That would be fucking dynamite. Man, can you imagine Morales versus Ian Garry? Another guy with dynamite takedowns who's not even going to be looking for takedowns. He might just slug it out on the feet, and he's got huge power. That'd be fun. Praches we already did. Okay. Brady, but Brady's coming off that loss. That doesn't make a lot of sense. Buckley doesn't make a lot of sense. JDM, you could do maybe. If they really wanted to make him do one more, they could do that. I suspect if they're going to give it to Kamaru, what he'll do is he'll just wait. Like, let Kamaru have it, not fight anyone, and then just take the winner of that. Yeah, I don't know. Gary's great, but he's limited as an offensive fighter, and I don't like that. That's my personal opinion.